We're here with rockstar Pete Johnson of Tatuaje, and he's got a lot of new product to showcase.
I feel like my fly's down or something. When you say that, I was like, oh, wait a second, maybe I should check. Rockstar, yeah, well, maybe in my past life. When I was playing music on the Sunset Strip, I was 145 pounds soaking wet. And now I walk about 250. Yeah. So times have changed.
I was in Special Forces at 135 pounds.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, well, you get older, you eat better, you know. My wife obviously cooks really good. Nice. She's Cuban. She wants me fat, you know.
So what do you got for us?
Wow, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I see that. It's a lot.
So a couple of years ago, we came out with Cabai Juan with a new label, like a new edition, but it's literally based off the regular Cabai Juan. The Cabai Juan Britannica Extra is actually a limited edition just for this show. Eventually, maybe in a couple of years, we'll put it into the lineup because I love the size. Yeah. You're talking about a 5 3/8 by 48, which is a little perfecto. If you can see it, you'll probably be posting this on your website later on. The number 752, which is regular production, 752, it says it in the name. Great double Corona size. Can't wait for everybody to really get that in the stores, and those should be showing up in the next month or so.
That's pretty quick.
Yeah, because they've been in the plan since last year, so we're good.
Nice. What do you got over here? These.
We did two Atelier and Surrogates. There's 10-year anniversary for both companies, so we decided to use that same mold, the Britannica mold, in both lines for Surrogates and Atelier. The Racine blend that we did for the Atelier was done, multiple years ago. We did it for like 5 years in a row, and eventually it was always a PCA exclusive or an RTDA or IPCPR exclusive, but eventually the retailers kind of stopped paying attention to it, so we just phased it out. And we decided for the 10-year anniversary we'd bring it back in that cool mold. It's like a great little perfecto.
That's a great shape. That looks beautiful.
And it's an old Cuban mold, and that literally we have one pair rolling all these cigars. Luckily, the production of each cigar is not so crazy numbers, so we were able to fit time slots for each one. The same thing with the Surrogates Big Ten, much bolder blend. It's actually the Surrogates Big Ten is modeled after the old event packs that we made for Surrogates, and eventually the name Big Ten will find its way into the Surrogates lineup, but in a different format. This is a limited edition. And then Coho Nu 2015, we call them the lost years. We went from 2012 Coho Nus to 2021. We skipped 15 and 18.
Quite a few years.
Yeah. We go every 3 years with Coho Nu, but we decided to bring back the two lost years, 2015 and 2018. 2015 this year, 2018 next year. The problem is we printed the wrong colored bands. I sent the band maker the artwork. They sent me the artwork back with the positioning of everything corrected, and I didn't notice that they had swapped the colors. They inverted the colors, and I said, yeah, that's perfect. Let's go. So we're waiting. This is actually for much later. Yeah. That color band is actually supposed to be used on our broadleaf versions of Coho Nu. So we have to wait another 3 months before we get the other bands, which are supposed to be gold.
To avoid all that confusion.
Color, because I don't want to put that band out there and people are like, oh, that's broadleaf, right? So there you go.
Makes sense.
Little hiccup in the chain. Then, of course, moving on down.
What's up, man?
One of the most exciting things for me is Varico Blue.
Yes.
Varico Blue is a 100% Garcia grown tobacco, Corojo 99 shade grown. Varico 1 and 2 were the two sizes that we started with back in 08, I think, if I remember correctly. They're just, we used to call them East Coast, West Coast. We literally had one size for the West Coast, which was the Varico number 1, and one size for the East Coast.
And you have Bloods and Crips colors on there, so it's perfect.
Yeah. Well, the slogan for Varico Blue is red, white, and Varico Blue. But Varico Blue is it's the same internal blend as the regular Varico, But then we add that Corojo 99 shade grown, which actually gives it a sweetness and brings down the strength a little bit. So it really acts more old school than new school. It's very old world styling to this, which I'm really happy about. Plus, again, it's all grown by the Garcia family.
They make great tobacco.
Nicaraguan Puro. Nice to showcase what they do, and nice to show people that we have a lot of tobacco to work with. So
Keep it in a family a little?
yeah. No, absolutely. More, to be fully vertical, and have the option to use all their tobacco is, it makes our life easy. Yeah. And they grow all the seeds I like to use. So
it's high quality stuff. You can't go wrong with it.
And then the PCA 2022, got a little smudge on the window here. This is a Sumatra wrapped 5 3/8 by 52 box press with a covered foot, medium full. This cigar mimics the TA 2022, but the TA is the broadleaf version. Yeah. So it's kind of like the battle of the bands right there. The biggest release that we're doing at the show is based off of purchase orders or sales orders from the retailers for the Lomo de Cerdo, which is the pork tenderloin Tuxtla edition. So it's the pork tenderloin blend with San Andreas wrapper. So that one's going to go crazy. I haven't seen the numbers, but I'm seeing some retailers pop in numbers like 200s. So it's a big production, but these won't show up until next year. Okay. Yes.
So
we're looking at fall. We're looking at spring of next year. Yeah. By the time they show up.
So people are gonna have to really keep their mind on it and
because we'll keep on telling people about it.
That'll go like hotcakes.
Yeah. So that's all the new stuff. I mean, again, we didn't want to bring the whole booth like we usually have in the past. And we really feel like that we're at a point after 19 years that we should probably be able to come to the show and just show off the new and not have to worry about showing off all the old stuff. So
yeah, you guys have a pretty solid name in the industry.
Thankfully, 19 years, I hope we have a little bit, but it's always nice to meet people who don't know the brand, because I always look at it as an opportunity to teach people about it. So
nice. One more question for you.
Yeah.
Back in January at TPE, everyone was going nuts because demand was ultra high. A lot of manufacturers couldn't meet demand.
Yeah.
And how do you see the industry now, 6 months later?
Yeah, I mean, again, I wasn't at the TPE, so I didn't experience that high. We came out of 2021 on a big note, and we're having that same growth this year. I see this show floor pretty busy for everybody. I think we're all kind of on a little bit of a high, but I've lived through the first boom and crash, and I'm always worried that the bubble might burst. I mean, it's tough out there for a lot of people. I hope things change sooner than later, but I think it's whether or not people take that time and choose to have a cigar over something else. And I think the culture is still strong. Yeah. I've noticed that there's this generational gap that we were missing for a while that kind of got closer together, where I'm 51 years old, going on 52. I know people my age or even younger that have kids that are in their 20s now, that are picking up that same hobby that their parents enjoy.
Yes.
There was a gap of 10 years where we didn't have that bridge. So I think we're in a good spot as an industry, but also as a culture. And I think the culture is stronger than it's ever been, even during the original boom. The problem with the original boom, people came in and they made shitty cigars with banana leaves, and they literally, you go to a store and you're like, hey, this is all we got. And they pick up the cigar and they're like, this is horrible. Yeah. That's not the case now. People are making amazing products everywhere around this floor, and a lot of choices. So, I mean, the fact that people still choose our brand after 19 years, it's a blessing, but I don't take it for granted. I want to make sure that I keep on pushing and making good product for the consumers with it that really make my life. I mean,
you have to. The competition's so steep.
Stuff. Yeah, absolutely. But I think, you know, everybody had a big year in 2021. Going into January trade show at TPT, which again I wasn't there. Yeah. Of course, everybody's on a high. I see a little bit of a correction happening, but when I came in actually thinking it'll be a modest show. I didn't expect what I saw yesterday. Yeah. I mean, it was gangbusters. Today is a lot more quiet, but
well, they haven't opened to the general public yet.
Oh, it's not open. Oh shit!
This is early access only right now.
I had no idea. I didn't know they were doing that 2 days in a row. So, I think we'll be good for a little while. It's just I don't think people should be greedy about it. Keep on making good cigars. Keep on making good cigars that you can put at decent price points for the consumer. Make sure that they can afford the products, and be honest about what you're doing. Yeah. Like don't try to fool the consumer now. There's too much knowledge about the cigar industry out there now, and that's what I always say is that for too long there was always that curtain that was closed that you couldn't have access to. Education is power, and when you have that knowledge about what you're enjoying, you get into it more. Yeah. Like I was telling someone earlier that I don't buy a bottle of wine unless I know the grapes that are inside there. And if a winery actually said, no, we're not telling you what the grape is, I'm like, are you crazy? Yeah. No. I want people to know what tobaccos we're using, because the lucky part is about making cigars, especially with the family. I could tell any other place, Rocky Patel, I could tell Rocky, hey, we're using these tobaccos, and he won't make the same cigar. Right. That's what people don't understand. Tobacco is a weird thing, and the person that processes it can change its outcome. So open it up. Let people know. Let people see the man behind the curtain, because they're going to love it more. And that's why I love the industry. I'm a geek. You know, like when it comes to cigars and things like the cigar culture, I am truly probably one of the biggest nerds out there. And I'm not ashamed to say it, because I love the history of it, and I love teaching people about it. That's why
I would love to see a conversation between you and Nick Melillo, because you guys are history buffs.
Nick and I, we text back and forth every once in a while. We geek out a lot just because we're nerds about it. I mean, we truly love what we do, and we appreciate that people appreciate what we do. And people know this about me, and I think it's pretty similar to Nick. We don't go into making a cigar that we think people will like. Right. We make the cigar for us first, because we have to love it. Because at the end of the day, if no one likes it, we're stuck smoking them all. And if they suck, they might as well go in the trash. Yeah. So,
thank you very much, Pete. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.